I am under strict doctor's orders not to do anything strenuous for many weeks, so I thought I would choose an activity to do. And while crocheting is not exactly strenuous, I've been doing a lot of that recently, so I thought I might learn a new skill instead. Welcome to my little crafts corner. Back here, we have a lot of craft things that I've been squirreling away. This is my hoard of embroidery and cross-stitching kits. I think I'm gonna do some of these. I genuinely thought I had more than this. I have done cross-stitch before, and I've even tried to make a video about it. About 2 years ago, a friend came to visit and brought me some cross-stitching kits, and I did make one of them, and it turned out okay. It's not perfect. I know there are mistakes. I misunderstood a lot of stuff about cross-stitching. Hopefully I do better now. So this is the beginner kit that the friend gave me. This was the advanced kit. I'm kind of scared. Maybe instead I'll try this beginner embroidery kit. And I know that cross-stitch and embroidery are different things. Fun fact, cross-stitch and embroidery are the same thing. Shayna from the future here, and okay, that's oversimplifying it. Basically, embroidery is the umbrella term for decorating fabric with a needle and thread. Cross-stitch is the more specific form under the embroidery umbrella that deals with using a needle and thread to make the X's and create, you know, images and patterns with that, kind of like pixel art. I did some research and I couldn't find a common, more specific term for the embroidery that you see in these embroidery kits, although I did find the term freehand embroidery, but that's kind of a mouthful. So for the rest of the video, when I mean the sort of decorative freehand embroidery, I'm just going to be saying embroidery, and when I want to say cross stitch, I'm going to say cross stitch. I'm going to learn that as I learn these skills. For right now, I'm going to kind of try to do both, and we'll see what happens. Stitches first. So I think I'm going to start with these leaves on the end. I'm going to have to look up what this stitch is. Okay, we've got my first stem, and I need the same color and thread amount, 2 threads, to do the leaf, so I'm gonna do this little top leaf. We'll see what happens. It's a different stitch now. It's a satin stitch, which seems to just be inside the barriers, make stitches really close together. Getting frustrated already because here's what the front of the leaf is looking like, and then here's the back, and I just feel like the back looks so much better. I don't know what I'm doing wrong to cause that. It is okay. I'm learning a new skill. I am recovering from surgery. It's going to come out beautiful no matter what, so I just need to calm down, keep having fun, keep doing this, and I'll check in with you when the plant is done. Here is where I am pausing for today. I think the leaves came out pretty good. And if we're being really technical, my best leaf is the first leaf on the back. Don't know how that happened, but Oh well, I'm having a really good time so far. Good morning. I've been waking up and my sister called, and so as a good activity to do while I was on the phone, I finished all the like lime green and I learned a lot. I learned, and I probably should have known this was from like watching the tutorial, but I learned how not to just make the same thing on the front as on the back. So look at that leaf. You can see it's just the outline, because I would like go one side to the other side and then I'd come back on this side and do the other side. So the front gets all the thread and the back just gets like an outline. And I filled in some like bald spots on the first plant that I did, and then I did the stem there and then that green. And I still have some of the lime green left. I don't think I need it, but I'm holding on to it because why not? And now I have pulled the dark green color and I'm going to work on those stems, the big flower stems. I'm excited. I'm enjoying this so much. My sister asked how much I like this, and I know we're very early, and I know this won't count for cross stitch actually, but for embroidery, I'm comparing it to crocheting because I have to be a lot more intentional when I'm doing this embroidery, because I'm like, okay, where's the next spot I'm going? Where's like the needle coming out? But it's less boring than crochet is so far, because with crochet, you end up just doing the same stitch over and over and over if you're doing just, you know, a rectangle or something. Or alternatively, crocheting is much more of like keeping track of information. So like, okay, I just did like 3 increases, now I need to do 3 single crochets, and then I'm gonna do 3 decreases or something like that. Or, you know, okay, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase. And with this, it's not that. It's really just like, I'm doing this stitch for this section. So, you know, stem stitch, back stitch, satin stitch. And I gotta, you know, I just gotta do it. I gotta fill in the space. It's very much coloring. It's like a coloring book, at least the way that this is right now. So that's fun, and it feels like a good middle ground for me. It's cool. It really is one step at a time. Okay, I didn't make it up. I did buy a bunch of cross stitch stuff from garage sales, or I think one's from a vintage store. So I'm good. I do have it. Let's go. I have been so good about catching any knots as they occur, and I was so proud. And then I noticed that I was running out of this green a little sooner than I should be, and lo and behold, a knot that I did not catch. So here's where we are now after the Christmas holiday. I've been doing a really good job and I'm really proud, but I have been avoiding something. So as you can see, these flowers are achieved by French knots. And I have never done French knots. That's not true. I tried French knots once to do eyes for the jellyfish plushie back when I was first learning how to crochet. It didn't work, so I'm very scared of French knots. The reason everything else is blank is because I haven't done the French knots yet, because these are the red color, and then the mushrooms are also the red color, and then on top of the mushrooms are white spots. And then the white, I also need to do details for each of these yellow flowers. And then on top of the yellow flower details, I'm going to do the rest of the green stems. So basically, except for the spider, once I do this red and I'm done with it, I can finish the entire thing. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna do it. I did one. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Awesome. Time to do 100 more. It's been brought to my attention that I don't tell people to subscribe enough in the middle of my videos. So if you like what you watch so far and want to see more like it in the future, please subscribe. It really helps my channel and it signals to YouTube that you want to be recommended videos by me. As you know, I had to take some time off for medical leave for my gallbladder surgery, and because of that, for some reason, YouTube isn't recommending my content as much anymore. So please do subscribe to sort of get the algorithm working again. Also, has anyone else noticed that when someone in a video says subscribe, the subscribe button has started to like glow, or is it just me? Is it like a new feature that isn't all the way out yet? Let's test it one more time. Subscribe! I am back home from the holidays and I'm just really happy how this is coming. It looks so colorful and so pretty. I am finishing up the mushrooms now and I think I'm about to start on the red accents on the orange leaves. It's done and it's beautiful. The colors are so nice. Since I finished my embroidery, I thought maybe I would try this cute little cross stitch. As someone who has done 2 embroidery / cross stitch kits, I am really impressed with this. Look how they organized the thread for me. That is so nice. That is so cool. There's a whole booklet. of instructions here. Oh, maybe it's a fold out. Well, still, I mean, this is really cute. It just doesn't help me like not lose it. So I might actually use the needle from my other kit because it has the little circle thing to like put the needle through to hold on to it. Cute little tiny embroidery hoop. I think this is going to be lovely. I have finished the first embroidery string thread. Anyway, this is what we got. It's super easy to see because it's a completely different color from the background. This is the first cross stitch that I did a million years ago. Does it look better or worse? I have my first real injury. Technically I did get a pinprick on the spiderweb kit, but it wasn't that bad. But this one I accidentally like scraped my whole finger, so it is band-aid worthy. I'm impressed it's taken so long, to be honest. I am such a fan of how the shapes start to come together. You just really, you know, oh, it's a dog face, even though it's not all there yet. It's kind of like a paint by numbers or connect the dots sort of thing. So I finished with the black color in the face, and I'm gonna go in with the light brown, and then I'll do the dark brown. It's obviously not going to take that much. Things that I have learned: it's much easier if you start at the top and then move down in the color than it is to start at the bottom and go up, because, well, at least the way that I've done the cross stitch, I'm crossing like down up first and then down here, down up. So then if I want to do down up again, I would have to like undo this corner piece. So that's something I have learned. Also, I seem to have made one too many something in this sweater, because I don't know if you can tell. This black X right here should not be there. There should be a space here. See, here's the equivalent over here. There should be one space between the two. Somewhere I moved the sweater over, so there should be a space there and there isn't. Not sure why, but I don't think it takes away from how cute the thing looks. If anything, it just makes it look a bit chunkier, a bit cuter. Obviously, we'll see when I actually color everything in. Another thing I noticed is that it's much harder to undo anything. Like I said, there's a mistake here, and I can't fix it because I realized it way too late. At one point when I was working on the face, I think when I was doing this row of the dark gray in the center here, I realized that I had accidentally done two when I should have only done one. And because I was still in that row, I was able to like put the needle out, loop it out this way, loop it out this way. Like it worked, it was okay, but it almost wasn't. And it's very interesting because with crochet, which is the other fiber art I'm familiar with, you can undo your entire thing. You can completely start over pretty dang easily. You just can't do that with cross stitch, so it's interesting. So we've had two problems in very quick succession. One is I accidentally used the dark gray where I'm supposed to be using the light gray, so I got to use my scissors and try to take it out. I'm really grateful I did. Second problem is the whole back section is one square too far left, so Wiener Dog's going to be a little longer than he's supposed to be. Oh my god, it's so cute. Here's what I'm thinking. I've kind of had a secret reason to be learning embroidery and cross stitch. I really want to learn sewing this year. If I had been able to make my New Year's Eve resolutions video, I would have told you all about that. And I really want to embroider or cross stitch something on a project that I have in mind to sew. But I have no idea how to cross stitch or embroider on fabric. I guess with embroidery, you don't really need the like squares, but I don't know about cross stitch. And I actually think I like cross stitch a little bit more at this point. So I think I'm gonna do some research into that and see if I can successfully cross stitch something onto some fabric. Past Shayna was feeling really crummy from recovering from surgery, so I'm just gonna slip in here and explain what's going on. You might remember my aunt from my Christmas video where I crocheted her a chimera and she loved it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I did an amazing job. What a great Christmas gift to give her. And then she turned around and gave me this amazing cross stitch art for me and my husband that says happily ever after. And it was like a really late wedding gift because she started it before our wedding and it took this long. And that just blew me away. And since I was learning embroidery and cross stitch anyway, I thought I should give her some cross stitch back. So it's almost like a cross stitch trade. And originally I thought I would give her the dachshund, the wiener dog, but taking a look at the happily ever after again, I couldn't do it. This wasn't good enough. I needed to give her something better and more specific to her. Also, I kind of wanted to keep this. And since I wanted to cross-stitch something onto fabric to explore that for a future project, I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to create something for my aunt. I did some research to figure out the best way to cross-stitch onto existing fabric, like a sweatshirt or a towel. And I found out that there are 2 types of fabric that you use to guide your cross-stitches. Basically, there is waste fabric, which you sew onto the fabric you're going to use, and then you after you've cross-stitched, you actually cut and pull out the waste fabric. That seems like a lot of extra work for me though, because I had seen on Instagram people dissolve the guide fabric for cross-stitch, and it turns out that exists too, but my craft store did not have it in stock. So I just ordered everything I needed from Amazon, including a nice towel that was pretty inexpensive but seemed nice and had good reviews, and some DMC thread for all the colors that I would want, and the water-soluble stuff, which I stitched onto the towel and then got started. As I have been cross-stitching this towel for my aunt, here are the tips that I have learned. First of all, start at the top right and go down and left. As you can see, I started at the bottom and then realized that it was hard to do the pattern, so I moved to the top. Second of all, this was a free pattern that I found. I will link it below because it was a digital pattern instead of the kits, which I didn't want to write on, but this one was digital, so I printed it out and I've been coloring it in as I do the cross stitch, so it makes it a lot easier to keep track of what I'm doing and what I have to do next and where in the row I am, and I highly recommend it. Okay, I am done with the border. The reason that I switched between colors is I was worried I wouldn't have enough of this light red. I have tons of it left, but honestly, I really like it. I think it's really cute, and I'll probably use a third color for the center. Now in the pattern, the center is another lovely rose, which is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this. But I started to think maybe I should have my aunt's initial here in the center because it's on a towel. It's like a monogram towel sort of thing. So I'm going to go look up a pattern for a very fancy scripty D. Here's what I decided to do. I opened Canva, found a font that I liked. It feels kind of medieval, tapestry-y, so I thought it would work with this pattern. Then I went to Stitch Fiddle and I'm converting this into a cross stitch pattern. And over here, I'm going to set the size. I think I can do it by stitches. I want a 30 by 30, and then I'll print out the pattern that I get and we'll be ready to go. Change of plans. That other script was way too hard to do in just 30 by 30, so I switched to this medievally blocky looking script and I turned that into a cross stitch pattern, and I decided to incorporate the flower pattern, so I did 2 of the little small border flowers down there. I don't think I like it, so I'm gonna change it again. Okay, I wanted 3 things. I wanted the D, I wanted the floral pattern to kind of match this pattern, the one in the center, and I wanted both red colors. And I finally have that, so I'm going to print this out, and then I'll finally resume cross-stitching this. Admittedly, after I rinsed it off in the sink, there was still some residue, which the packaging, or maybe it was the blog post, did warn me about. So I did just throw it to the wash again, because again, I want that. It's a towel, it needs to be washed. And I think it came out amazing, and my aunt is going to love it. So in the end, which did I prefer? Embroidery or cross stitch? I know this is a total cop-out, but I really liked both. I think they have their purposes. I think that embroidery is a lot more chill and fun. It's something that I can just do while listening to a podcast. I don't have to pay as much attention, and I think I did a good job of explaining why earlier. It's a lot like a coloring book. You just fill in the lines with the stitches, and that's really the only time you need to look at the pattern or instructions. And I feel like if I'm inventing my own pattern, patterns, then there's no real instructions. I just know in my head what I'm gonna do. For the project that I have in mind, however, I'm doing something more like this. Like I want to do kind of a crisp logo on a costume that I want to make. And this is actually embroidered by machine, obviously. I can't do anything this crisp. For me to get something that looks like this, I'm gonna need to do cross stitch. Cross stitch is a lot more looking at the instructions, counting, paying attention. It's a lot more like crochet in that way, which is interesting. So yeah, I liked both of them. I'm excited to keep doing both of them. I totally forgot until I was editing the beginning of this video that I have that big cross stitch like sunset kit. I have a really cute hedgehog freehand embroidery kit that I can be doing. And in general, it's just really fun to learn some new skills, especially in preparation for learning to sew again, because while I am excited to learn how to use my sewing machine, I know that I'm gonna have to hand sew some stuff, and if anything, the skills that I learned in embroidery is just gonna help with that. So that's my journey learning how to embroider and cross stitch, which is, you know, a form of embroidery. If you do any embroidery arts, I would love to see what you do. Please, like, I don't know, link below in the comments, tag me on Instagram. I just love getting inspiration for this sort of thing. Do you have a favorite between cross stitch and embroidery? You're totally valid if so, and tell me below in the comments. Again, remember to subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye.